I've walked among this congregation of ancient vines for more years than I can remember. Watched them thicken and gnarl with age, and still each spring they renew, arms outstretched, bearing berries of remarkable character and intensity. Both of our oldest vineyards, Hill of Grace and Mount Edelstone, have vine congregations that once grew in France's Hermitage, perhaps planted as early as Roman times. Cuttings from the finest of these vines were shipped to Australia in the early 1800s. Some nestled into the soil of our Eden Valley single vineyards, around 1860 on Hill of Grace and 1912 on Mount Edelstone. They preserve a Shiraz heritage lost to France, when phylloxera aphids raged through their lands. As a small boy, I remember walking in the Hill of Grace with my grandfather Alf. He would have been 75, the vines 18 years older. Their trunks seemed so tall, too wide to embrace, full of wisdom and wonder. As a young man, I listened to the words of my Uncle Louis and my father Cyril, tasted grapes as they ripened, learned the language of the vines, how they responded to the seasons. I studied the intuitive way my father transformed the lifeblood of these ancients into a song of each season. As Henschke winemaker for 4 decades, I now walk through these rows with my wife Prue, who is one of Australia's most talented and dedicated botanically trained viticulturists. Her vision means the vines, managed with biodynamic and organic principles, grow in harmony within the native landscape, in an ecosystem of local grasses, flowering plants and beneficial insects. In the season of 2016, the ancients on the Hill of Grace were over 150 years of age, while Mount Edelstone vines turned 104. Both vineyards delivered exquisite quality. It was a beautiful season. As Mount Edelstone is picked a couple of weeks later, after Hill of Grace, it's just got that extra bit of hang time, so it has, with this east-facing slope, it gets a really lovely fragrance, perfumed fruit character. It doesn't get the hot afternoon sun.
More,
and you see
more bay leaf and sage, so more of a sort of savoury note in the Shiraz.
A very floral, but once again, that lovely plushness of the 2016 vintage.
Yes, beautiful.
2016 Hill of Grace wine has the opulence and lovely spicy fruit flavours. It's quite plush, it's quite textural, it's layered, really lovely fine grain tannins. Just a really exquisite version of what Hill of Grace is all about. Planted in the era of Impressionist art, I think of our vines in the same way as these old masters. They deliver beauty that is simple, yet with wonderful layers of complexity. We are pleased to present these expressions of 2016 from our ancient congregations of Mount Edelstone and Hill of Grace.